But it's free. Can't I have free stuff? We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by mycleaningconnection.com, where you will find a whole bunch of free stuff. And the free stuff that you will find is for do-it-yourselfers and house cleaners who want to know better ways and more efficient ways to clean. So it's everything from cleaning to cleaning blogs, cleaning podcasts, cleaning supplies, cleaning products, and cleaning equipment. There's a whole array of cleaning stuff that you will find on mycleaningconnection.com. All right, on to today's show, which is from a homeowner, and she's decluttering her life. And she says, but what about the free stuff? All right, there are rules and regulations that go along with accepting free stuff. Now, the word free, it's a four-letter word. I want you to think of it as a curse word, okay? Free. Free is usually not a blessing, it's usually a curse. Because when you start taking free stuff, there are usually strings attached on the other end. Now, the strings sometimes are used for marketing purposes, and sometimes it just declutters your life and it gets out of control. So we're going to look at it from a couple of different angles. When someone gives you something for free and it has a business attachment to that, here's how that works. There's a business and they want you to sample their wares because they want you to buy from them. I give you my product, you fall in love with my product, and then you want to buy more from me, okay? So it's a sample, it's a free trial. They're giving you something with the strings attached that you're going to come back and buy from them. And so when that happens, you have to ask yourself this question: do I need the freebie? And then, is this a company I would ever buy from? Is this a product I need, want, or would use? And if the answers to those are no, don't even take the freebie, because then it just becomes clutter and junk in your house, or it becomes clutter and junk on your computer. A lot of people will give you a free ebook, and it's on a topic you're not interested in. But yet when you download it, that takes up hardware space on your computer. And we don't often consider that our computers are as cluttered as our lives, okay? But a lot of people have gobs of extra emails. They're storing freebies that they've downloaded that they never wanted, they've never read, they've never used, and it's on topics of non-interest to them. So that's junk, okay? Freebies, for the most part, can be junk. The next thing I want you to look at is somebody puts an ad on Nextdoor, or somebody puts an ad in the neighborhood swap page, like maybe a Facebook page or something like that. And they say, hey, I have this free mattress that I'm giving away. And you're like, oh, it's free. I think I'll go get it. Do you need a mattress? Because if you don't need a mattress and you go pick up the free mattress just because it's free, then that's a disease. Okay, that's a disease you have called Freeitis or something. This means you just collect stuff that's free. And then you're not going to use it. There was one lady that collected, I'm not kidding, 30 cases of light bulbs from a company that switched from incandescent lights to fluorescent lights, and they gave away all the free light bulbs. And this woman, who just had a house with maybe, 20 light bulbs in there, went and collected 30 cases of incandescent light bulbs that she was then storing in her house in the event that a light bulb ever burned out. Okay, that is the disease of Freeitis. Okay, that's not cool. It's not cool for the fact that she didn't need that many. Therefore, it became wasteful and she ended up paying to store that stuff. Okay, so the next thing we have to think about, what are the freebies that you're accepting? When people give you stuff and you just take it because like, oh, hey, this is really awesome. There's a lot of stuff that you end up with that has all the wrong meanings. Like there's a buddy of mine that had a conference, and at the conference, this buddy of mine gave away all these things. Now, to me, they were useless things. They were things I didn't want, I would never use. I'm not going to promote their products because it doesn't fit in with my business, and it's not to my audience or to my market. And so all of the stuff that they gave me was nice, and I didn't want to throw it away because I knew it was expensive and I knew they paid a lot of money for these ad specialty items. And so I hung on to them longer than I should have. But the answer to the question is, if you don't need it, you don't want it, and you're not going to use it, don't ever bring it home. So you go to the conference, you're like, oh, that's so lovely. Here, save this for your next conference. Give it to someone else. Because if you know you're not going to use it, and you know that you're not going to use it to promote that person or that product, whatever it is that they're selling, it doesn't help you in any way. All it does is become more clutter that you have to store. Here's the problem we have with clutter and Freeitis. Eventually, you have to start making choices. There are things in my life that are valuable, and there are things that were free. And so I can save and store and protect the things that are of value to me, but I have all this other stuff that I'm storing as well. And so you make a decision that, oh, well, I need another shed in the back of my yard. And so you pay to have this enormous shed built in the back of your yard to store the free stuff so that you can keep the things that are of importance and value inside your home. Now you're paying to store all this stuff that you didn't really want in the first place. You've got 6 mattresses that you collected on Nextdoor. And every bed in your house already has a mattress. You're never going to use them. There are a lot of people that have storage units. The storage units are a curse as well, because while they store stuff, and the intention is that while you're moving to a new city, before you get settled and before you have all the deals worked out, somebody bought your house prematurely, you hurry and put your stuff in a storage unit and it holds your stuff until you get the bugs worked out. It was never meant to be a second garage or a third garage or a fourth or fifth garage. I was working with a woman who has five storage units. She has 2 sheds in the back of her house, and she has the home she lives in and another second home where she stores all of her stuff. Her second home is not a vacation home. It's a storage unit. And it's got electricity and bathrooms and internet access, which is super expensive to have all that stuff at another storage unit. So the reality is, why do you have all this stuff? In the course of any given day, you can only use 1 set of dishes at a time. You can only use 1 mug or 1 drink cup at a time. You can only wear 1 set of clothes at a time. And if you spread this out through the whole course of a week, that's like 7 outfits. Okay, 7 outfits. And we end up wearing the same clothes over and over again. I don't know what, well, I do. I wear the same stuff every day, but suppose you have like a favorite go-to outfit, or you have a favorite pair of shorts, or a favorite set of jeans, or favorite t-shirts, or whatever. Yeah, you may have a whole closet full of clothes, but for the majority of us, we have the same 5 or 6 outfits that we keep recycling through. And so we have a bunch of other stuff that maybe somebody gave us. Maybe we acquired it inexpensively, or we got it on sale. We bought it on a clearance rack, or it was a discount. Having free stuff is not necessarily a blessing. It can often be a curse, especially when you are paying to store free stuff that you don't want, don't need, can't use, and will never use. So it's time to go through all of our closets, all of our toy boxes. If the kids have outgrown toys that they no longer play with, we need to give that to someone else, discard it, send it to the Goodwill. It doesn't matter where we send it. Let's just get rid of it. If there's free stuff that you collected and you have dozens of mugs in your cabinet that you're never going to use, or you have lots of sets of dishes, or you have too many pots and pans. Lots of times when you get married, you will inherit pots and pans from your aunts and uncles and mom and grandma and stuff like that. And then as the elder folks pass on, we inherit their stuff. It came to us free, and we end up with all this extra stuff. So now is the time to just stop and say, hey, it's free, but do I have Freeitis? Is this something that's consuming my life instead of something that's creating space and harmony? And so it's free. Yeah, should I take it? Not always. No. Learn to say no to free stuff. All right, that's my 2 cents for today, and until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.